Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm very, very happy that you are all joining us to this very special event, very special workshop, as we are collaborating with Heckler in the series of Anti-Fear Assembly, which is a fantastic series. You're gonna learn a little bit more from them, but for me, it's very exciting to meet on this specific workshop about gender-based violence and the fear that everybody in a way has felt from, I mean, not just gender-based violence, but violence. And it's very exciting to meet with the purpose of the Anti-Fear Assembly with them. So to get started, I'm gonna give a brief presentation of the ANT project for those who are new to the project and for those who are familiar also. And the ANT project is a horizontal structure of interaction to interconnect artists, curators, writers, and performers, finding commonalities on seemingly disparate practices. On the surface, the interconnection takes us to find commonalities and disparities. But underneath, the interactions are rubbing on each other the self-centered idea of individuality. The shared experiences are taking the colony toward a commonality which is being created by the whole. Listening has become a central point of our practice, taming our need to be the center of the conversation and yielding the space for nourishment. In this sense, the ANT project falls into the sphere of a collective spiritual practice toward the experience of oneness and the truth of interconnection. So this has been a journey. The ANT project started 3 years ago, like an idea, like a vision. Now, this year it took form. It took form and found a perfect environment for interconnection, virtual interconnection with the situation we've all been through on 2020. So our meetings and our sharing have been, rubbing on us this belief of being isolated or individuals who are just on our own. And little by little, we are, like molding new or shaping new forms of interaction, new forms of generating and creating in a collective. So thank you all for being here today. We're going to have a workshop structure in a different way than the previous ones, but I'm gonna pass the mic to Heckler members, Natasha and Sonja, to present their assembly.
Thank you so much, Guadalupe, and everyone who is present with us today. As Guadalupe said, we had really beautiful conversations about collaboration and collectivity, considering that there's very significant overlaps between what the ANT project does as well as Heckler. So for those of you who are new to Heckler, we are a artist-run platform and transnational community of artists, activists, and cultural workers and healers that critically examines hospitality and conflict through pedagogy, art, and residencies and archiving. So in our focus is community building through nurturing of merging artistic, educational, and organizing strategies, and interconnecting a variety of roles in which all the individuals bring into the collective space. During the pandemic, and actually when it started, we started constructing prior to pandemic starting, and then it actually started, so we transitioned into the online space. Heckler Assembly, which is a transnational space for cultural workers to share, discuss, and collectively imagine new ways of instituting based on self-organizing, community care, critical thinking, political education, and healing as commons. Assembly includes reading groups, conversations with different practitioners, and the Anti-Fear series that are initiated in collaboration with Sonia Blum, who is with us today, is also artist and neurologist. So with alternating hosts who bring their questions to the assembly, we were sharing practical, historic, and theoretical knowledge about collaborative, pedagogical, and governing models established in response to political repression. And within these different topics, it's always the question of like, what is the role of art and responsibility of artists in the context of crisis, in the context of, in response to it, but also as kind of guiding force to reimagine and constitute like new forms of instituting that are parallel to the ones that we are finding to be like dysfunctional or in a way, toxic and violent. So I'm going to, the Anti-Fear has been bringing together a lot of different practitioners that Sonia, and like methodologies that Sonia will tell you more about. Sonia.
Hi. So thank you, Guadalupe and Project for inviting us to collaborate on this work today. It's really great to be here. So just to pick up where Natasha left off, the Anti-Fear side of the Assembly, Heckler Assembly Project, really has a very simple idea, which is to use the emotion of fear, which affects us all in various ways, but this feeling that is particularly amplified and this hyper kind of individualized, isolated, current state of the world in which we live, and just really start with the with this idea of creating a space in which participants come together and find ways to kind of share or begin with this sharing something about their individual fear or anxiety. So creating material that is actually kind of cracking this shield of individuality, just opening up a space of vulnerability with, specifically as it relates to fear that we hold. And then opening up this collective space to kind of transmute that fear into an empowering action, or something that is going to almost use it as material to experiment with new ways of coming together and new ideas of the commons and what's possible kind of in being together. So this has taken different forms over the summer. This we sort of went through, I think, 6 different iterations of the workshop, and each co-hosted with guest hosts who bring in their very different individual practices, from poetry to Reiki to there's also this really interesting kind of project of viral feminist healthcare with just we actually don't want to go too deeply into any specific ones, but just bringing these different practices and sharing them with the group, and then inviting the whole group to participate in basically some collective experiments. So it's been a really wonderful, powerful project so far, and again, really kind of tapping into that, opening up with this feeling of fear and anxiety, which is typically kind of a feeling of shutting down and isolation, but using that as a starting point to actually open up and hold hands together and come together and experiment with new forms of the commons. So So with that, I think we can kind of move into just starting the conversation today. So we'd like to begin by just having just a very brief introduction, having everybody, just have a chance to say a few words about just where you are and where you're located in the world and just how you're feeling today. Yeah, and maybe start with that.
Sure. I don't know if everybody sees the same order in the images, but maybe I can just name the people in the order I see them. We can start with Natasha.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natasha Prelevich. I'm zooming in from Užice, Serbia. It's 5:15 p.m. Here. How I'm feeling? I'm feeling excited, a little bit tired, and processing a lot of stuff from past month and a half since I came here from New York. Thank you.
Thank you. Maripaz?
Hello everyone. I'm Maripaz, a visual artist. I'm here in Mexico. I'm very excited to participate with this great project and feel a little bit unhappy, a little bit tired, but I'm ready. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Maripaz. Sonja?
I am currently in a very small town in Wisconsin, in Marshfield, Wisconsin. I'm normally located in Brooklyn, but I come here to work in a small village hospital sometimes. So here I am very happy to participate in this project. Otherwise, how I'm feeling various ups and downs of overwhelm and hope, especially at this kind of peak of this pandemic, and just hoping that it kind of gets a little better soon. So,
Thank you. Alexandra?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Alexandra. I'm located in New York. And I am feeling good today. I got to do a really nice yoga practice this morning and do meditation this morning, which, yeah, I feel good. About my day today, I'm sort of feeling good, but a little disconnected. Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe I'm feeling relaxed, but maybe I should actually not be relaxed. So I have a little of that sort of, baseline anxiety chatter a bit. And, but I'm really happy to be here with you guys and love to see this project unfolding.
Thank you. Jelena?
Hi, everyone. My name is Yelena. I'm currently in Brooklyn with Chelsea. It's 11:20 a.m. I woke up a little bit before the meeting, so I'm still waking up. I'm drinking coffee. I'm happy to be here. It's a great, beautiful day.
And I'm Chelsea. I'm also with Yelena in Brooklyn. I've been up a little earlier, and I'm feeling excited for this, but I'm also feeling a little nervous. And I can't wait to hear what you all have to say.
Thank you. Alberto?
Hi, everybody. I am Alberto. I am in Mexico City. I am a painter, sculptor, and I appreciate this opportunity to know new people and to can have an interconnection with the ideas and feelings and energy. Thank you.
Thank you. Nadine?
Good morning. I'm coming to you from Montreal. It's the traditional territory of Mohawk people who recently have told us, hey, we call ourselves Ganyan Gehaga. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really grateful everybody has introduced themselves. It feels like a social gathering in real life. The screen is gone when you all speak, so thank you. I'm feeling good and just really happy that we're getting together and that I get to show you my work today. So thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. Pauline?
Hi everyone, I'm Pauline. I'm from France, but I'm based in Lisbon, Portugal. And it's like 4 something. And how do I feel? I feel pretty stressed today. I was doing Excel files, so I'm actually very happy to do a break with you guys and have the chance to talk to you all and hear about the project you've been working on. I've heard about it from Guadalupe, but I'm looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. Sneha?
Hi, I'm Sneha. I'm in New Delhi, India. It's about close to 10 now. I'm feeling cold to begin with, which is why I put on a jacket. And a little bit in pain. I just broke my foot 2 days ago. So just dealing with that. But otherwise, very grateful to be here and just excited.
Thank you, Sneha. Risha?
Hello, everyone. My name is Rishabh. I'm from New Delhi, India as well. I'm a friend of Sneha's. I came to know about this project with Sneha, of course, and I'm just very excited to know, all that is happening in this group. And just very, it's such a great thing to see so many beautiful people on the screen at this time. So I'm quite excited.
Thank you, Risha. Luciana?
Hi, everyone. I'm in Rio after 3 days. So I'm adapting, living in Brooklyn and getting here. It's super hot. Also, I'm in a place that some renovation is going on. So I am experimenting how the external space invades us in a way that it's not always nice. So I'm looking forward to be here and participate to this with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Luciana. Paula?
Hi, I'm originally from Colombia, where I just spent 7 unexpected months on what was to be a 10-day trip, but I'm back in Miami and I'm absolutely excited because arts and women's issues are my passions. So I think that today we're going to be talking, most of you, I'm going to be listening basically to the discussion that will involve those issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. I don't see your name next to Paula. I don't know, it doesn't display any name.
Melanie.
Okay. Oh yeah, Melanie. Now I see your name. Sorry.
It does that. I know you can't see. Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie Manos. I come to you from the Detroit region of Michigan. And it's really thrilling to see people from all over the world and hear from you. And I'm a little bit jealous of people who've traveled, which I haven't. I have to say I'm feeling a little scattered because we are in finals week. I teach at University of Michigan. And so just trying to do a little hand holding with student issues before our final critiques. But I was really thrilled to see the information about Heckler and read about what you're doing. So I signed up for this, even though it's not the best timing, and I will try to give as much focus as I can today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Melanie. Jean? You're muted, Jean. No, we can't hear you. Oh, sorry, you can write it in the chat and I can read it for you when it's ready. So we go to Danny.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Dani Tapia. I'm in Miami, and I'm feeling okay. I'm grateful to be at home with my kids. One of them is at home, the other one is at school, and I'm trying to use these days before Christmas or end of the year to kind of put some things in order at home and with my project. So I'm grateful to have some time to join you for this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Okay, from Jean, my microphone does not work, but I am curious and interested in these new platforms. Okay, I can tell that Jean is based in Florida, in north of Miami, like Delray Beach. Yeah. Okay, Nishama, is it the right pronunciation of your name?
Hi, it's Nechama.
Oh, Nechama, sorry.
No, it's okay. Hey everyone, it's good to see everyone here. I'm in Brooklyn, and I'm a little tired too, but I'm really happy to be here. So yeah, and I'm also excited to hear from everyone, and it's really cool to see everyone gathered here from it seems like all over the world. So yeah.
Thank you, Nechama. Bojana or Bosch?
Yes, hi, it's Boyana.
Boyana.
Yes, I am right now in Queens, New York. I'm in transit. I'm feeling, what do you call it? A bit of self-deprecating, self-loathing, because I don't like people who don't have their cameras on in these panels, but I thought it was a webinar. and I'm in transit and I really wanted to join. I'm very excited about what you guys have to hear, and it's raining, otherwise I would turn my camera on. So thank you.
Thank you, Bojana. Karen, I know that you're sick. If you're able to speak.
That's okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Kara. I'm a visual artist based in Mexico City. Was based in New York for a very long time, but happy to be here. And as far as I'm feeling today, I'm very sick, so I'm logging in from my bedroom, which I don't think everyone needs to be privy to. So I'm keeping my camera off, although usually I agree with Johanna that it's much more preferable for us to be able to see each other. So I'm very excited to hear the presentations today, and my apologies for not participating more, but I'm present.
Thank you, Kara. Ramon?
Hi, I'm Ramon. I'm here in Miami, and I'm very glad to step out of work a little bit and be here and really be present to everything that's going to be shared. I think this is going to be great.
Thank you, Ramon. Cecilia?
Hi, I'm Cecilia. I'm here in Miami and I'm feeling relaxed and just happy to be here sharing and excited to see the art projects.
Thank you, Cecilia. Okay, last, myself. So I'm Guadalupe. I am originally from Mexico. I am an art curator and also a spiritual practitioner from the tradition of Kashmir Shaivism. And I feel very, very excited and very happy about this gathering, about this meeting with a heckler, and about bringing up a very substantial and meaningful subjects to not just the table, to the screen and to the people, because I have the, how do you say, the, when you are positive of something, I am positive that we together can and will heal each other and can and will heal whatever comes. And, you know, the planet, it's on us. So we need to experience it on ourselves to really be confident that we are going to do it. First on us, and irradiating this energy and this healing out from us to everything surrounding us. So thank you everybody for being here. So, okay, we can start the artists' presentations. I'm gonna just briefly say how the structure of the workshop will be. We're gonna have the three artists presenting today are Sneha, Maripaz, and Nadine. And they're gonna present their works for 5 minutes. We're gonna just listen. Then we will jump into the experience of the poetic collective experience, which will be guided by Sneha Krishna. And from there, we will share the experience of the poems we will write. And we will have a space also for a Q&A about the projects. And to close the session, we're gonna have 10-minute meditative practice that I will guide from the spiritual tradition of Kashmir Shaivism, which is a jewel. It's a treasure to be able to practice in an ancestral tradition, which dates back to millennials ago. So we're ready to start. Sneha Krishnan she will be the first presenter. Sneha Krishnan is a visual artist, designer, and entrepreneur who spends her time between New York and India. Her works are an expression of a space where internal conflict and the external world integrate. Through this interaction, she hopes to unravel the different layers of human consciousness with a focus on the female lived experience. Thank you. Sneha, you can go. So Sneha, I think you're muted.
Yeah. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks, Guadalupe, for the introduction. And I'll jump right into talking a little bit about my work. Through my work, I try to understand the different layers of human consciousness, to understand where I hold pain, fear, trauma, conflict. And through the process that I have learned to allow my subconscious to directly create without passing through my conscious thought. So when I paint, I don't really remember how a color was used or why a motif was drawn. It's such a direct channel that through some practice I have been able to establish that I usually don't have any memory of painting it. And so many times in our waking life, we try and question so many things and process things through words and thought. And I find that through this process, I am able to wordlessly sort of answer a lot of my questions and able to process a lot of my fears and traumas. And the project that I'm going to share with you today are some works on paper that I've made this year. And we'll start with integration. So this piece is made with acrylic paint on paper. I made this piece when I was in the peak of COVID. I just was diagnosed that I had COVID and I was extremely anxious. I was in the middle of a separation and I didn't know what to do. And I this is what happened. So we have marks of my hands and my body, and everything that was in me, I felt is on this, it's held in this painting. And the next day I just walked down the stairs and I looked at it, and I genuinely felt that I'd released all that pain and that anxiety onto this, and now this held it. And it's one of my favorite pieces because it just holds me, this painting. So another one is earthen vessels. I like to think of the process of emptying oneself in order to fill it up again. And so like our consciousness, this piece is extremely layered. If you can see, there are clouds in it. There are parts of the female body. There's a lot of use of my hands again. And also these little white dots that are connecting all of the layers. And I hope, and the process is for me to answer my own questions. My work is, yes, I hope the audience is able to understand it or feel what I'm trying to say, but my process is to understand my own questions, the questions I ask myself. And so often in my dream, I get somebody telling me that, Sneha, you're asking all the wrong questions. And which is why I find that the questions that I ask myself are pointless, and I just allow myself to paint and answer them. This is a really special one. This is called Back Massage. I made this in February in New York, where I had a really bad back pain. I lived alone and didn't have anyone to massage it or hold me or help me with my pain. So I just spontaneously put a ton of paint onto the paper and started massaging it with my fingers. So it was really thick, fleshy paint. And I just kind of massaged it the way I would massage my back. So you can see like the top portion is where my neck is and the rest of it is my back. So I started running those circular motions. Now the sensible thing to do would have been to not move because my neck was in pain. But I think I was able to focus my energy so much into that healing process that I actually did feel better, believe it or not. My pain was a lot less. And I think this was one of the first times that I really got acquainted with loving myself and just allowing myself to heal myself with my work. And this one is interesting because I made this, it's called Collective Persistence. I made it in the earliest days of COVID, where everyone was talking about washing your hands and touching and just, all of those things just seemed so, I don't know, on the forefront of it, and I didn't know how to process it. And this is what came out of that entire experience. Being this cube sort of denoting being stuck in the home, like I was in a small New York apartment, and the moon, like that's all I could see in the day is the moon, because I couldn't see the sun. So I had that motif put in there. And yeah, as in, that's my work.
Thank you, Sneha.
No problem. Just give me one moment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're going to the second presentation, Maripaz Cervera. Maripaz is a visual artist. She lives in Mexico in the city of Querétaro, and she works with social themes like gender violence and human rights. So thank you, Maripaz.
Thank you. I'm gonna share my screen. You see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, this is a video.
Circumscribed rope. This installation proposes a deep awareness at an individual and collective level about gender violence through the symbolic representation of personal spaces with a sacred connotation. Personal spaces that protect and seek to reflect the vulnerability of women in the face of different situations that we are exposed to. The shapes of the pieces in this installation play with the meaning of the robe that have been forged as protective vestment for the protection of the woman in a society that does not allow to reveal the nature of human corporality without the possibility of being in danger, as practice that we incur to safeguard our integrity against threats from outside. Seen this way, this vestment become model circle of protection that accompany women as a gender and as individual to keep their distance from the other, from danger, and thus protect them from their own fragility in the face of the world. The material security tape, generally used in places where accidents or violent events have occurred, is redefined through these pieces, delimiting a protective space. The traditional connotation of danger, prohibit, or don't pass of the material is transformed to delimit circles of protection for women, ropes that tends to hide and protect from guests and danger, an evocation of personal space, but also, in a broader sense, the sacred space where women gather to find protection and shelter among their peers. As the usual aspect of the circular shape is reinforced by the knitting, this traditional feminine technique symbolizes the communal space of sharing and healing that streams tie between women. At a time when protests over gender-based violence in our country were suddenly silenced by unpredictable enemy, a global pandemic that has forced women to confine themselves to their homes, many of them with the aggressor, it is essential to maintain the consciousness of a reality that unfortunately does not disappear. An opportunity has arisen in this unfortunate circumstance, allowing us to reorganize ourselves in a sisterhood, generating spaces of solidarity for protection. This installation pretends to make an allusion to the violent scenes reflect in gender violence, with the usage of security tape as main material, at the same time reflecting the existence of sisterhood between women, with the creation of ritual spaces as protective magic against the daily threats representing in our daily life.
I'm gonna try to don't share my screen. Okay, perfect. So this project start with a huge problem that we have in our country, that in 2019, 16 of our every 100 women have over the experience of at least one act of violence. So I work with this theme that is really awful, and in this sense, these proposals evoke that not forgetting, not allowing, and not avoid the violent reality that corrode our lives and infect our ideals. And this try to illuminate the cause of the victims and the try to get some empathy and love with this problem. So I make this installation, and in each knot, I think in every woman that have problems with being a woman. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maripaz. So next presentation is from Nadine Faraj. Nadine Faraj makes raunchy yet soulful watercolors that address issues of civil rights, feminism, LGBTQI activism, and sex and body positivity. Faraj is represented by Anna Zorina Gallery in New York. Her art has been exhibited internationally and discussed in Hyperallergic, Huffington Post, Art News, Elephant, Hawk, Le Devoir, La Presse, and The States. Thank you, Nadine. You can go.
Thank you, Guadalupe. I'm gonna share my screen. And can you see the first painting?
Yeah.
Okay, and it should be a slideshow. So there are so many things I can talk about. I'm going to show you 3 little windows onto my process and my thinking. All the works are made of watercolor. So the first few paintings are documenting real women who choose to protest naked in the streets. They might just be topless, but they're making themselves vulnerable and they're writing their demands on their torsos. So this particular project, I documented about 100 different protesters, all of them real, protesting for different reasons all around the world. And this project is really about claiming our right to be in a body in the streets. So it's like claiming your rights in the streets. And the series I called Naked Revolt. And I like to show many of these pieces together so that the women are all supporting each other. Now I'm going to move into something slightly different. I'm still addressing all of the civil rights, racism, sexism, homophobia in these paintings, but they're much more subtle. They're more soft. They're more celebratory. And they also, so it's what I'm getting into here with this section is sort of claiming your right to be in a body, but in the sheets. So now we're not on the streets anymore. We're in the sheets. We're in our sexuality. And it's a way of, claiming space in our bodies and enjoying our bodies. And I really like what watercolor offers me because it allows for an erasure of the boundary between people. So I can highlight how we get mixed up in each other, how we're connected to each other. And it allows a bit of dissolution of forms to allow us to let go of a rigid sense of ourselves. So those are things that the watercolor gives me. That's why I use it all the time. And I'm going to move into the third project, which I want to focus on a little bit more for this workshop, because it's about claiming our right to be embodied, but in the temple. So claiming our right it's like coming together as sisters. And when I say, like, we're talking about gender and we're talking about women here, when I say women, I mean, women, non-binary, trans women. It's a very inclusive notion of womanhood that I'm focusing on. So I just would like to keep that in mind. So welcome into my temple. This is a fictional cave that was painted by my ancestors. And when I talk about my ancestors, it's on my father's side of my family. my Babylonian heritage. So this is modern day Iraq. And in the north, you have a cave system where women would go once a year and they would be together, dance, sing. And it was a way for women to maintain some, pre-Abrahamic religion empowerment. So this is a very long story. I'm just going over it. I'm glossing over it a little bit. But this is a place for self-care. So why this applies to the modern world is that we're still struggling. So many people are struggling for so many rights that are so important and interconnected. And we all need a space to take care of ourselves. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you just run down. So this space is about, reclaiming your joy and rebuilding your strength. And so I imagined what my ancestors did if they had a space to do whatever they wanted. So we have handprints, we have documents of, it looks like yoga, it looks like chakras on fire, it looks like people surrounded by water. And it's interesting because all of these images actually relate to the visualizations Guadalupe offers. And this is what it looks like when people come into this cave. It's quite large. And I just have a few more slides. This is the ceiling. It's like a rainbow and a few details. I think this woman is experiencing fear. And here's one of our non-binary guests. And this is a couple visitors into my cave. This was presented at Spring Break Art Show in 2019 in New York City. And this woman, this is Jasmine Fire. She's an amazing violinist, and she found the space and she totally gets it. So she's my last slide. So I will stop sharing, and I know we'll be talking soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nadine. So Sneha, would you like to guide us to the experience of the words?
Sure. I'll keep this very quick. Let's all come together and think of the first 2 words that come to mind after everything that we just heard. It could be completely unrelated to what we just heard, but let's just allow our subconscious and our mind for a little massage, and whatever are the 2 words that come out, we can go through the room and speak them out one by one, and I'll write them down. After which each one of you will be given 2 words randomly picked, and we'll have about 3 to 5 minutes to write a short poem. The idea is that you only have 3 minutes, so we don't have time to judge it. We don't have time to assign fear to it or judgment to it. Nothing. It's a safe space, and let's see what we come up with. So I think we'll start with Guadalupe, and just shout out any 2 words that come to you.
Temple and rainbow.
Okay. How about you, Nadine?
Safety and murder.
Maripaz?
Not love.
I didn't get the first one, sorry.
Not and love.
Natasha?
sisterhood and confinement.
Sandhya?
Dream, joy.
Helena? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing anyone's name wrong.
Did you say Paula?
Sure, you could go.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Blood and eraser.
Okay. Helena and Chelsea.
Vulnerability and openness.
Freedom and grace.
Pauline? Am I audible?
Yeah, no, you were not. Catharsis and empathy.
Empathy, and what's the first one? Sorry.
Catharsis. Can we say this in English?
Okay. Mhm.
Cool.
Got it. Rishad?
Powerful and powerless.
Alberto?
Door, sky.
I missed the first one, sorry.
Door.
Door. Okay,
Puerta. Door.
cool. Ramon?
Polarization and calmness.
I want to make sure it's polarization and sorry, what's the second one?
Calmness. Calm. Being calm.
Alexandra?
Fresh Prince.
Fresh, and what's the second one?
Well, at first it was Prince, but I think it could be prints, like handprints.
Okay, Prince. Okay. Melanie?
Transference and process.
Luciana?
Space and emptiness.
Cecilia?
Passion and strength.
Nehama?
Darkness, and I also thought of strength too.
Okay. Dani?
Life and body.
Life and body. And Bahana?
She wrote it in the chat. It's sexy and war.
And Kara has power and margin. Okay. Perfect. So I'll run through the room again and give each one of you 2 random words, which you remember, and then we'll start the time after that. So Guadalupe gets openness and powerless. Nadine gets loved and war. This is absolutely random. It's the first thing I see. Maripaz gets process and eraser. We have Natasha, safety and empathy. Sonia, dream and passion. Helena, blood and sky. Chelsea, grace and power. Pauline, knots and temple. Rishabh, door and strength. Alberto and joy.
I think, Sneha, we missed the first one from Alberto, for Alberto.
First one.
Wait, I have it. Joy and body. Body, yeah. Where were we? Okay. Alexandra, vulnerability and polarization. Melanie, flesh and darkness. Luciana, life and confinement. Cecilia, sisterhood and catharsis. Polly, we have transference and sexy.
Did you say Paula?
Yes, Paula, sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So you have transference and sexy.
Yeah, thanks.
Nehama, you have space and emptiness. Dani, you have rainbow and murder. Kara, you have calmness and powerful. And Bukhana, I think that's the only one left, is Prince and openness. Yeah. Does everyone have their words? Great. So I'll start the timer now for 3 minutes. So your time starts now. We have about 30 seconds left. Time's up. So either Guadalupe, Nadine, or Maripaz can facilitate everyone kind of sharing their poems, if you would like. Yeah.
I mean, should we ask for if, I mean, you don't have to if you don't want, but it would be great if you share it. So if anyone don't want to share, just say pass. But I can also go in the same order. Do you want me to go in this order? It's easier, right?
No, however you see it. However you see it is fine.
Or just raise your hand. Might be more spontaneous if you want to raise your hand. So Alexandra, go.
Okay. What begins as an internal polarization of opposing sandwiches can beget the fragility of anatomical practicality, resulting in the sweet space of vulnerability.
Thank you. Luciana, did you raise your hand?
I think what would be really helpful is to say out the two words that you got and then tell us your poem.
Oh, my two words were vulnerability and polarization.
Okay. Okay, who wants to go?
I can be next. My two words are life and confinement. Where is life kept in my body? When I sleep, when I laugh, when I jump, when I dream. Is it circulating? Where is it? Is it in movement? Does it occupy space? Where is life in confinement? Do I still feel it? Can it be taken from me? Am I alive?
Thank you, Luciana. Paula?
I use my two original words also. And so I came up with don't, and then the new words were sexy and transference. I use, okay. Don't erase my sexy blood. Transfer it to your deepest memory.
Thank you, Paula. Maripaz?
My words are process and erases. In each process have a lot of love to expand for all the world. Life is full of races to embraces. Where is the love for everyone?
Thank you. Maripaz, okay. Sonia? You're muted, sorry.
I was really getting into it. My two words were dream and passion. No fear, no fear, no fear, no fear. To dream with passion, juicy and rich and free and safe. To reach out and stretch and just be.
Thank you, Sonia. Mm-hmm. So I can go next if I don't see hands now. My two words were openness and powerless. As my powerless cells look for love, I stop. A breath, a breeze, dancing in my skin, I wake up to the joy. An openness happens in my heart. Thank you.
You guys want to go? Can I?
Yes.
So I had nod and tempo. So we intersect, we are road crossing, we interlace, we are a node. Without you, simplicity wouldn't be a line. Without you, complexity wouldn't be a network. You are my tempo.
Thank you, Pauline. Nadine, you're next.
My 2 words are love and war. Could you have given me 2 more opposite words, love and war? We thought love would end war. We'd be so tired and happy, limp from fucking, so much that we couldn't pick up a gun. But that's not what it is. That's still our dream. Love is still powerful, but can it stop war? It had better, because the lovemaking hasn't. No, the lovemaking is now a weapon of war. That's not love, but we know that. But we know it's the love in our hearts that makes us want to stop the war. The war on women, the war on Black people, the war on poor people, the war on nature. It's all the same fucking war. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. Dani?
Hi, my 2 words were rainbow and murder. So I wrote, with a rainbow of possibilities, why choose murder? That was it.
Yeah, wow, thank you, Dani. Natasha?
My 2 words were safety and empathy. Transforming safety into openness and trust. Can I do it? Can we do it? No policing, don't close. Making empathy a common power, radicalize.
Thank you, Natasha. Cecilia?
My 2 words were sisterhood and catharsis. The sisterhood between our earth and our bodies heals us through constant catharsis of our darkness. We become brightness and joy.
Thank you, Cecilia. Richard?
My 2 words were door and strength. So written, she screams at night of the horrors bygone. She screams of the names of their laughs. The world watches through from behind the closed doors, and we wonder, is strength in the screams or in their silence?
Thank you, Richard. Jelena?
My 2 words were blood and sky. I opened the window this morning and got frightened. The sky was pulsating in a constant rhythm of unresolved emotions flooding all the streets. It was turning more red with every second until it turned into blood.
Thank you. Just, yeah, we.
So my words were grace and power, and she was loud and bold and proudly moved through the world with immense grace and power.
Thank you. Perfect.
Melanie, do you want to read yours?
Okay, to share my screen, I have a visual. Oops, sorry. Mine's kind of stream of consciousness following Sneha's. So I had this paper and then I cut around it. Darkness spark, sparklers, they go out so bright at first. Why do they fizzle fizzle, fizzazzle. Is that okay? It makes me sad. More sparklers. Darkness, spark, darkness, park, flesh, fresh, alone, fear, fear, pain, fee pain, feel pain. Oops, sorry, that's a mouse issue. Oh dear. Maybe that's part of it. Feel pain, ear pain, air, ambition, love, love, fleshy tomato. That was it. Forgive my kind of odd reading.
Thank you, Melanie. Okay. I don't know if we're missing someone or someone. Ah, yeah, Alberto.
My words, joy and body. El cuerpo alegría del mundo que cambia.
Should we translate it if we can?
Yeah, the body and the joy. The world, the body is the joy of the world changing.
Yeah. Thank you, Alberto. Okay, Natasha.
So Boyana lost connection, but she sent me her poem.
Okay.
So her words were, not sexy. I'm not sure. Okay. So she's coming back, but I'm going to read it. I'm not sure what her 2 words were.
They were openness and prints.
Okay. So after he left in the morning and I opened the curtains, I noticed fingerprints all over the mirror, big hands, small hands, our hands. They were on the velvet bed head as well. This was an expensive hotel. I can't afford a bed head like this, but he can afford the room. There's so much openness from you. He'd complimented me the night before. I went immediately to the pharmacy and bought condoms, the max ones. He was 6'5", me 5'3", but my openness made up for the height difference. I was definitely taller in openness and heavier in openness and wilder and bigger and more violent in openness. If you looked at the handprints on the mirror and on the velvet, you could easily see just how much more open I was. All that openness made me tired. It kind of hurt, made me a little sad, a little lonely. And I fell right back asleep with the curtains open, the sun warming my open body on the very expensive, very fancy, unaffordable bed.
Oh. Okay, wow. Okay. Oh, Kara says mine is in the chat. Let me. Okay. Kara says, in this space of calmness, I find my most powerful self. Perfect. Thank you, Kara. And thank you to Bosch. She's joining back. Okay. Okay, I think we've gone through everybody's poem. Oh no, Nehama? Yeah.
So my 2 words were space and emptiness. And I wrote, in the open space, in the emptiness of it all, I can breathe and feel alone.
Thank you. Okay. So Sneha, are you, did you do the wrap up of the poems or we leave it open?
Leave it open. Let's see how everyone's feeling and what your thoughts are about the beautiful poems we just heard and what the 3 of us presented. I know I'm filled with a lot of just warm feelings, and I'd love to hear what everyone has to say. And if you have any questions for Nadine, I, and Maripaz, please feel free to ask about our process and just anything.
I want to ask about the paintings. The first red painting. The red painting. I was curious about the material that you used. Oil, acrylic, kind of.
It was acrylic. Just acrylic, yeah, with white texture paint. Yeah.
So I have something to say. Since you were only given 3 minutes to write down our poems, and you mentioned how the idea for 3 minutes was to not have the thoughts come in, not have the fears and the overthinking come in, and just have things out. And so my question, I mean, would be for everyone to answer, but at least for the 3 presenters and the artists, would be that with what you wrote yourself, did you find a piece of you or a part of you which was very much yours, which was coming out through in the poems? And if so, what was it? Through the 2 words, some concept, some idea of yours came out. And what was it that was so fearlessly thrown out to us through your poems? And also, so Sneha, for Sneha, Nadine, and Mari, at least.
I can start. For sure, there's a ton of what I think about that came up. I think it's obvious. Anyways, it's obvious to me because I'm dealing with sexuality, and the question is this just about pleasure, and is it about escapism, or is there more? And I think there's always more to something so powerful. So in this case, it's like sexuality as it relates to love. Is it the same thing? Are they different? And love and its ability to dismantle war. And then it's like a triangle, you know, how sex is now used as a weapon of war. And all these things that we still want to stand up and fight for. All these evils that are interconnected that we want to dismantle. So yeah, it was like, I can't help being myself.
I think all the works connect with the works of Nadine, of mine. So I think the works of the artist always connected, always being connected with the sensitive of the audience. And I think now we make this connection with our work and everyone. So I feel really happy and excited about these words and the poems that comes out. So it's feel like the connection in this screen gets naturally get stronger, get powerful. So I think, of course.
Natasha?
I want to first thank everyone for really amazing, peaceful sharing. And it was interesting for me to get these two words, which wouldn't necessarily be the ones that I would assign to myself. um, so not sure why, but there is echoing. I think someone needs to be muted. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's in terms of just like responding to works, but also responding to everyone's voice in the space. I really appreciate that interconnectedness of warmth of voices, the color of voices, the kind of visual images that everyone brought together into what is like coming to the surface of like a collective architecture that we are building in this space that is very, very poetic and very intimate. And I want to also, I don't know if Boyana wants to read her comments, but I definitely agree with the going back also to Sneha's painting with a back massage, and just how I feel all these like different words that are coming out in the space, and different writing, especially because we all come from like different level of I guess like comfort of like writing poetry. And that's like interesting in these spaces that people would say like, well, I'm not a poet, like how am I going to write something? And this is why we are doing so we can actually like translate all the yeah, get into like different pockets ourselves. Thank you.
Sonia?
I also just wanted to share just how beautiful of a space emerged, and to pick up also on how the exercise was offered. I think it's so brilliant that that everybody was treated as a poet, and there was no qualification or explanation how to write a poem or any assumption that somebody couldn't do it, which I think in itself is very empowering. And I think it just, I think, resulted in such a beautiful like actually brilliant kind of like synthesis of all the layers of the body and the mind and how we experienced all the images and words that came before, that it just kind of really came out in these poems. And I just think also it just was particularly empowering that there was no question that everybody was fully capable of writing a poem, which I thought was really beautiful.
I agree with you, Sonia. It was very powerful to hear everyone as a poet, and we are all poets when we give the space for it. And you know, the power of each one of them like melted in this collective strength or beauty. So thank you for the experience, Sneha. It was really, really wonderful. Just okay, Luciana.
Well, I can put my video now, but I'll try. Hold on. There's not much light. It's noisy here, but I would like to mention how this exercise worked out for me on how we visit museums and see public art and the power it does to one. The way all the three presentations loosen up feelings, very abstract material on us. And after when I received the two words, how that worked, you know, putting together something. And the peace I found in making this relationship to my internal moment being in this group and listening to all the voices saying things that connected one to the other. So really, really special as an experience of things that I think most of us would say we know that are out there, but it was strong to live with. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Luciana. And thank you, everyone, because every little piece, every single piece is what makes this beautiful weaving, you know. It's each one of you, each one of us. Okay. No, Luciana, do you want to speak again? No. Okay. Okay, just touching base with the timing. It's 12:33, and I see some people need to leave. I mean, we can keep the conversation going, or if you have something else to say, please do so. If you have time, we can go to the closure meditative practice. It's like 10 minutes at the most. But if anyone wants to comment on the experience, feel free to do it. I just don't want people to leave without a closure. Is there any comment yet? No? Okay, should we then go to them? Yeah, so, okay. So let's go to the meditative practice. As I told you, this practice is from the ancestral tradition of Kashmir Shaivism in the north of India. It dates back to probably, this practice was elaborated by a master called Matsyendranath in the 8th century. And we're very fortunate to receive these teachings as they were practiced hundreds or even 1,000 years ago. So please just find a comfortable position to sit. It can be in your chair, you don't have to move. Just try to let your back not leaning into the chair or couch. Just let your back free. And we're going to drop all the weight from the body down into the support we're seated on. We're going to completely deposit our body into the ground. And the ground is always the earth. So just to be conscious that we're always supported by the earth. We are the earth. We're going to relax the tongue. And the palms of our hands. And we're gonna drop the weight from our shoulders down. Just let all the tension from the shoulders drop down to the ground. So we're going to visualize inside our head that our brain becomes a red liquid inside our head. And all of a sudden, this red liquid will start dripping down through the central channel, which is like a tunnel located in the central axis of our body, vertically. So we're gonna visualize the red liquid in the top of our head and the drops of the liquid dripping down through the central channel, and they're going to get into the palate. The dripping keeps going. And from the palate, the red liquid will drop down through the central channel towards the center of the chest, which is the center of the heart. So we have this continuous flow of drops dripping down from the head to the palate and from the palate to the center of the heart through the central channel. So the dripping starts to become more fluid, and instead of drops, we have a fine stream of liquid going down from the head to the palate, from the palate to the center of the heart. And we start feeling the abundance of liquid dripping down. Little by little, the liquid on top of the head starts diminishing. The stream becomes abundant, and the center of the heart starts being filled. It gets to the point where all the liquid from the head is gone, and we just have the remaining stream flowing down to the palate and flowing down through the central channel to the center of the heart. When we have no more liquid in the head, our heart is completely full and it's radiating outwards this plenitude, this fillness, or it's completely full. So we stay with a feeling of plentiness or totally fulfilled, the center of our heart. And we're gonna take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we gently open our eyes. Yes, Nadine. Thank you very much to everyone for sharing this so wonderful experience.
Thank you, Guadalupe. That was amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That was an amazing session and just amazing exercise. I sort of, as a talking, I couldn't see better that calm down and sort of very safe. So thank you for the closing exercise.
Thank you, Guadalupe. Thank you, everybody.
Just go back to the center of the heart. That's a place to be. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And I'll see you all next year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year for everybody.
Great meditation. I feel full of joy. Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Health and happiness for all for the new year.
Same, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year.